Hi, I'm Paul Ferradas. I'm a fashion photographer from San Francisco, coming out here to New York to experience New York Fashion Week for the very first time, the Spring-Summer Collection 2013. So after a couple of years of shooting mostly swimsuit stuff, glamour type photography, I really started gaining this interest in fashion, continuing to study a lot of work from Testino. I really became I really liked all the textures and colors and everything of fashion, and the way some designers would layer stuff. It looked really beautiful. So I wanted to learn more about fashion, and I learned about New York Fashion Week, where a bunch of designers get together twice a year at Lincoln Center, which is the new spot for all of fashion. So I was trying to figure out how I can get myself involved in this. I wanted to experience myself. So I found this company, FashionStock, that's been doing Fashion Week for over 20 years, and they gave me the opportunity to come out to New York to experience Fashion Week for the very first time. So getting your credentials for Fashion Week was not easy. After I supplied my work, some history behind what I do and all that stuff, it took some time to get my credentials, almost all the way up to the last minute. A week before, I still didn't know I was coming. So about just a couple days before that, I got an email saying I got my credentials. So I was a happy man. So coming to Fashion Week was a completely new experience for me. I mean, back at home when I'm shooting fashion, I'm the main photographer. I pretty much say what goes. Completely new experience at Fashion Week. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, but once I got here, I was completely overwhelmed. I was given a schedule, which has tons of shows on here. I'm highlighted in red, so all my shows are in red. I shot about 42 shows here at Fashion Week, and let me tell you, it was not easy. It was 10 to 12 hour days, barely any sleep. My feet were hurting, walking everywhere, taxi cab rides, not knowing where I was going, using my iPhone. My iPhone's running out of batteries. It's very crazy, a very crazy experience. I learned a lot though, not only what it takes to get the best shot. I learned how other teams work with each other. Some fashion shows were harder to get into than others, very small platforms, some designers very elite. So there was a lot of stuff going on during Fashion Week that I had to learn and pick up, as soon as I got here. There were some very frustrating moments where it took me 2 hours to get to a show, standing in the hot sun for over an hour just to realize that I could not get into the show. So there were times where I just wanted to throw my stuff down and say forget it, but I stuck in there and just pushed through all 8 days of Fashion Week, and I got some great footage. So also what I learned is that you really need to have thick skin coming to Fashion Week. I mean, you're working with teams of photographers that have been doing this for years, and they are not the easiest people to get along with. We have teams coming from all over the world, and these guys are responsible for getting the best shot possible here at Fashion Week. And I quickly realized that it's very critical, which I learned very early on in the game, that even inches could make a difference between getting the shot. Arriving to the platforms, everything is taped off. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to stand. I don't want to get kicked out. So it all comes together, and you have to kind of learn to see where it is that you can go, where you can't go. Try to make friends with whoever you can. They can give you great hints and great advice. So I would get to the platforms, I would see where I can go, try to find my best shot. Inches count. And that's just the name of the game, is just getting there. It's almost like a race. Everybody's racing to get to the next show. Everybody's trying to get in. Everybody's trying to get their spot to get the best possible shot. So I wanted to see what I could offer here at Fashion Week, and shooting the runway, you take your spot and you're shooting pretty much straight down the runway. Here's where a lot of technical skills come into play. Your shutter speeds, your apertures, knowing the lighting. Some venues are differently lit than others. So that's one aspect of shooting a fashion week. Another part is going backstage, and that's where all the excitement's going on. That's where all the models are getting their makeup done, their hair done, they're putting on their clothes, seeing how they fit. So there's a lot of stuff going on backstage, and that's just an awesome place to be, where you can bring out your creativity. And that's what I was doing backstage. I was grabbing these models, putting them in different areas, seeing what looks good, making it all exciting, because these editors, they want to see this kind of stuff, So backstage really lets you be very creative, lets you design stuff, whatever's back there backstage, bring those models out, make them look really good. So that's just another piece of the puzzle for Fashion Week. So not only do you have the runway, but backstage you can come alive too. So some advice to photographers that are wanting to come out and shoot Fashion Week. I would start off, in your hometown. I'm sure somewhere in there's fashion shows going on. Go out there, give it a try, shoot whatever you can. You have to learn the gear that you're using, learn the techniques for shooting fashion. Some of the gear that I used, 70-200 lens, Canon. I did put an extender on it because some of these runways are really long. These venues are huge. So I had an extender. I could have probably used another 100mm, maybe the 300 lens. Next time I might go a little bit longer. I'm shooting with a 5D Mark II. One of the advantages to shooting with another camera, say the 70, is you have a crop sensor in the camera, so it gives you a bit more range in that camera. Also, you want a monopod to shoot fashion shows, because these lenses are heavy, and after you hold a lens like this for a few minutes, you're going to start getting some shake in your hand. So a lot of the guys are using monopods just to support your lens during that time. As far as sitting down, marking your spots, you can bring tape. I'm using this Pelican case that it's sturdy, will not break on you, has roller wheels, get you from one place to another. You can mark your spot with it, you can sit down on it, you can stand on it, so it's very sturdy and it works really well. I learned very quickly for Fashion Week also that a team is very important when you're out working in Fashion Week. My team was great during all Fashion Week. I got a lot of information from them. Fashion Week was completely new to me, but the night that I got here, they sat me down, and for over 2 hours we discussed everything that I need to know about working Fashion Week. The support that they gave, writing out schedules, days and days before, hours and hours, just trying to coordinate where I need to be, at a certain spot during the day. We call him Papa. His name is Anton for FashionStock. He's got tons of years experience shooting fashion shows. So a lot of the information that was given to me was very valuable, and I'll take it everywhere I go with me. So teams are really important, supporting each other, finding spots for each other, it's very critical. So I advise that you, reach out to people that are already shooting Fashion Week and see how you can help them, and if you're lucky and your work is good, then I think that they'd be willing to help you out and, go out there and push hard, because it is hard work, but in the end, you're going to get great results, and, you're going to have a lot of fun. So the important thing is to have fun. It's a lot of work, but it's only 8-10 days of shooting, but after that, the experience is like nothing other, and your shots are going to be amazing. So shooting the fashion shows is only half the battle. Now, when we come back home, we've got tons of files that we need to do something with. So hours, endless nights are spent just loading those files onto hard drives, backing up those files for redundancy, and getting those packages together so we can send out to the editors. They want to see all these packages put together, nicely done, post-processed, only the best stuff sent out to them. So it's very important. The post-production is only half the battle for Fashion Week. So yeah, I love New York Fashion Week. It was awesome. I can't wait to do other fashion shows. We've got LA coming up pretty soon. Once again, I'm from San Francisco, so the LA ones, it's just down the street from me, literally. Looking forward to doing other international shows. So this is just the beginning, and I can't wait to do more.